The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s gave new life to the nation's democratic ideals. African Americans used sit-ins, freedom rides, and protest marches to fight segregation, poverty, and unemployment. The movement won major victories in 1954 when the Supreme Court's Brown v. Board of Education decision declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional, and in 1955-56 when the Montgomery bus boycott, triggered by Rosa Parks and led by a young Baptist preacher named Martin Luther King, prompted the Supreme Court to affirm that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment. The slow pace of change, however, encouraged African American college students, among others, to stage sit-ins, freedom rides, and protest marches to challenge segregation in the South and across the nation. Their efforts led Congress to pass, and President Lyndon Johnson, a Democrat from Texas, to sign the Civil Rights Act of 1964, prohibiting discrimination in public facilities and employment, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, guaranteeing voting rights. President Johnson, who did more on behalf of civil rights than any other president, launched his Great Society program in 1964. The Great Society aimed to reduce poverty, alleviate malnutrition, extend medical care, provide adequate housing, and enhance the employability of the poor. However, the Vietnam War, urban rioting, and the rise of a militant anti-war and Black Power movement contributed to a political backlash. This backlash undermined the Great Society and enabled the Republican Party, beginning in 1968, to control the presidency for 20 of the next 24 years. The African American civil rights movement also inspired other groups to press for equal rights. The women's movement fought for equal education and employment opportunities and brought a transformation of traditional views about women's place in society. Mexican Americans battled for bilingual education programs in schools, unionization of farm workers, improved job opportunities, and increased political power. Native Americans pressed for control over their lands and resources, the preservation of native cultures, and tribal self-government. And gays and lesbians organized to end legal discrimination based on sexual orientation.